Notice your whole environment, the environment in the room that you're in, the environment in your body, in your mind, your energetic feel. Just to notice, how do you feel right now? And there's that larger awareness as well, the awareness of our being. So if you were sitting here a year ago, your sense of being would be the same as it is now. There's some things that don't change, a deeper layer, perhaps, hard to put into words. So notice when you look back on 2019, what are the thoughts that come to mind? For some of us, it would have been a really interesting, wonderful year. Might have been very challenging at times. Might have been really a hard year. And I know that everybody here is doing some kind of healing work. Many of you are doing that with me in these practices, as well as in groups and privately. And when we do that kind of intensive healing, things change a lot in a year. So, right now, just as we start, notice your body, your breath, your mind, and let yourself soften and settle in before we start the practice. Notice your breath. And as we start to look back over the year, notice that we're here. We're in our body, we're stable. We could stop at any time and do something else or notice our breath. We're not actually back in time, although we could vividly imagine it, which is lovely when we can do that. So, this is a highlight reel, which doesn't mean that we have to ignore everything that was difficult. It does mean, though, that we're consciously focusing on things that we're happy about, that were wonderful or joyous. It could mean focusing on people or events or on our healing journey. We'll spend a little bit of time on all of those things. But right now, as you're just starting, notice what comes up first. What would you, what would one thing be on your highlight reel of 2019? I got a puppy this year, so Shanti's certainly on my highlight reel. So it might be a dog, a horse, a cat, a person who came into your life. What's the first thing that comes to mind? And then let yourself really vividly imagine it. The smells, the sounds, the sights, the words. Memories might be there as video clips or as still photos. Notice how it feels in your body as well. Take some deep breaths in, soft exhales. Let yourself be fully absorbed in that memory, even as you recognize that it's a memory. We're not actually back there, but let yourself feel it for a moment. From this moment in time, And then take a few breaths and come to the next highlight. It might be a change. What's really changed for the better this year? Could be your health. Maybe last New Year's Eve you were in the midst of something that was a challenge physically, mentally, and things changed for the better now. And that might mean that a condition has cleared up, or it might mean that we've settled into some acceptance of something. There's so many different options. To notice what would be a highlight in terms of what's changed this year. Let yourself really feel into appreciation or the gratitude for that. You take some deep breaths. Notice if there's any part of your body that you could relax and soften. And when we're thinking about what's changed for the better, we don't need to ignore the difficulties or the challenges in that. It's just that our focus is more on the better part than the challenge part. We could run that tape through our mind, really acknowledging how difficult it was, and that there is an improvement now. It's not as hard as it was, or something has cleared up. We feel better. And if something has not cleared up, and if there's a health challenge that seems to have gotten worse over the year, you might even look and see if you have more compassion for yourself now. Maybe that's the positive in it. You have some new tools or a new way of looking at it, a new perspective, or maybe it's just that you're kinder and more patient. That's a really big thing. Notice your breath, notice your heart. And let your body continue to relax, your breath be an anchor in this moment. We're looking back from this moment. And what else might be on that highlight reel for 2019? Maybe there was a trip, a visit from somebody. Maybe you got out to nature more this year. Whatever else comes to mind, come up and then really focus in on it, whatever it is. And notice how you feel as you're remembering this. What is your felt sense of that in your body, in your heart? And if you're feeling grateful or appreciative, notice what that feels like. How do you know that's how you feel? What does that feel like in your body, or what kind of thoughts are there? Let that come to rest. Let's take a moment to observe the thoughts in the mind. If we're to witness our thoughts, notice that that's what's happening. You might be imagining that you're kind of sitting at the back of your head watching as thoughts come up and then they kind of go away or we get into a train of thought. And what is it about your mind and your thoughts that has gotten better this year? Maybe there's less catastrophic thinking. Maybe you're kinder to yourself. Maybe the inner critic isn't as believable. Notice how that feels in your body when you are just paying attention. This has really improved in my mind this year. You think back to 2018 and the months leading up to the January 1st of this year. Remember what your mind was like, what your thinking processes were like, and what has gotten better over the year. And there might have been a big breakthrough, or it might be something you look back on and go, huh, I can see now that I'm not as hard on myself as I was, or I have more patience with myself. I don't shame myself the way I used to. And maybe you could bring up some examples of that. You started shaming yourself and then you realized that, and I could be kinder here. I could be nicer to myself. What does it feel like to know that that change is deepening? That maybe you used to really drive yourself and now things have lightened up a bit. You've experienced that shaming always actually leads to shutdown. It doesn't lead to anything good. And that started to soften. Bring your attention into your heart center. And this year in 2019, I started to feel more connected with myself, kinder, more compassionate, more attuned. I know myself better this time of year than I did this time of year last year. I'm getting to really know and appreciate myself, to accept myself, and feel into that. Notice it in your heart, in your whole body. If you want to be truly radical, you could say, I love myself. I'm on my own side. Breathe and feel that through your whole system. And as you continue to be present with yourself within, notice what else comes up that could go onto your highlight reel. Or maybe you want to go more deeply into something that's already come up. Wonderful, joyous things that have happened this year or the experiences you've had. And notice your whole body, head to toes. Notice your forehead and eyebrows. And as you soften your forehead and eyebrows, let go of any anxiety or worried thoughts. One of the practices we've done a lot this year is relaxing on the exhale and then maintaining our awareness on the inhale so that on the next exhale, we could relax a little bit more deeply. And then we maintain and then exhale and soften more. And one thing that happens with practice is that we improve our skill. I've really noticed that I have a lot more capacity to relax quickly now than I did when I first started. But also, I have a foundation of relaxation that I never had before. So, what is your experience this year in 2019? Is your body more relaxed than it was a year ago? Do you have less tightening or less tension? Maybe you don't clench your teeth as much, your jaw is more relaxed, or you notice the shoulders aren't always tight up around your ears. Your stomach is more relaxed. Maybe you've gotten a lot more proficient at breathing, that even, continuous, relaxed breath. What are you noticing from a year ago to now in terms of what's happening in your body and your breath? Bring your attention back to your heart center. You could put your hand on your heart if you like. What does your heart know? We're attuning to what's happened over this year that's been wonderful, or that's been some kind of a change that we appreciate that might go on a highlight reel. And what does your heart know about what could be added to that? Not even thinking about it so much, just to tune into the energy in your heart center. What does your heart know? And tune into a sense of appreciation, gratitude, respect for your courage and persistence, that you're here doing a practice. Let yourself feel that connection that you have with yourself. And breathe. And if there's anything that was a positive change this year that you'd like to carry forward into 2020, you could bring that to mind. There might be several different things, or maybe there's one thing in particular. I really love how I'm softer with myself. I'm kinder. I'd like to do more of that, whatever it might be for you, and set your intention. In this upcoming year, I'd like to open myself more to that. Really feel that in your body, your energy, thoughts in your mind. What will New Year's Eve 2020 look like as you're looking back on this year? What will have opened up for you in the year ahead? And then let everything come to rest. Notice your whole experience again, your body, the energy, the breath, thoughts in your mind, your sense of being. And when you're ready, open your eyes and finish the practice.